Go Gilbert, we are live with another Go Gilbert Business Spotlight. As you may or may not have noticed, we get a ton of members asking for referrals on remodeling, bathrooms, kitchens, flooring, all kinds of things. So how better than to interview someone who is a small business and does all of those services, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Hi, so we have Jeremy with Phoenix Home Remodeling. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Ann. And hello, Go Gilbert.
Yeah, so nice to meet you. Can you give us a little kind of like a summary of what services you offer?
Sure. So we service Gilbert, Chandler, Ahwatukee, and Tempe. Those are the 4 towns that we service. And we do pretty much anything that's inside. So kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, entertainment walls or fireplaces, pretty much anything that's inside, including flooring, painting, really any kind of construction. We don't do anything outside. So like extensions and stuff like that. We just don't have the time, unfortunately, to do those. So we've kind of tried to be as niche as we can. So being specific with a certain type of service, while still trying to help out as many people as possible.
I love that. So basically, if someone has an idea to get an estimate, do they call? Do you come out? What does that cost to get an estimate?
Yeah, good question. So we do the initial one for free. So some remodelers do this, and it's something that's really important so it doesn't waste the homeowner's time or the contractors. We do a first call to make sure it's going to be a good fit. That could be everything from the type of project that they want to do to the amount that they want to invest. Remodeling is not cheap, and it's gone up considerably over the last 5 to 10 years. So if someone redid a bathroom, let's say 6 years ago, it's not going to be the same cost, which is unfortunate. And a lot of reasons. We can save some time and not go through that right now. But if anyone is interested, I can explain that. The other key part is that after that call, if it is a good fit, then we do the in-home visit, and we don't charge for that either. We've considered it, but at this point, we don't think it makes sense. That first call does a good job of getting to know each other to see if it does make sense.
Well, it's kind of like a screening and like setting expectations, right?
Exactly, because homeowners don't remodel often, and they shouldn't be expected to know what's involved, because it's not just cost, it's timeline, and then the actual amount of work that's involved. Like, people are often surprised by how much work is involved in a shower, and we get more calls for shower leaks or bathtub leaks than anything else. And part of that may be because we're not handymen. But the simple fact is that there's a lot of steps that can be skipped in a shower, especially shower floor. And so there's just unfortunately a lot of risks involved, and contractors are unfortunately known for skipping steps.
Well, in that, it's funny you bring that in mind. I can hear Mike over here going, because that happened to us in our home was a new build. And lo and behold, years later, after living in the home, we started to notice like some mold in the back of our shower. Yeah, it was a slow leak that happened over the years that, they didn't do whatever. So the shower pan was leaking. And of course, we didn't know about it for years later because it must have been a slow drip.
It would shock you how often I unfortunately hear about that. And as you mentioned, the challenge is if it is a first floor, a lot of times you don't know about it. It's not a homeowner's fault. You're not supposed to rip out your drywall every 6 months to check your shower. It's not realistic.
What's going on behind the wall?
Yeah, and in fact, this has nothing to do with remodeling, but if I can help everyone out, I got one of these devices. It's called a Mow & Flow. I'm not associated with them or anything. But after hearing for years about how many issues there were, the Mow & Flow came out, I think, about 6 to 12 months ago, from what I recall. And I immediately asked my wife, hey, are you okay if I get one of these? I can't tell you how often this is a serious problem, and she had no issue with it. So we got it installed, and what a Mow & Flow does is it watches. So essentially it gets installed on your valve where your water is, right next to where you can shut it off manually. And it checks every night to make sure that there are no leaks. And you set what time, right? So 3 a.m. people aren't usually using the water, or at least in the average household. And then what's great about it is it also will pay attention. So throughout the day, if something happens, your toilet starts leaking, your shower, whatever it may be, it gives you an alert and says, if you don't do something about this in 5 minutes, we're shutting your water off. So it's fantastic. It gives you a chance to look real quick. And if not, you're good. Now check this out. We were in Hawaii at the beginning of March and it happened to us. Thank God it was the guts of my toilet were unfortunately a little bit older and it was leaking. And that's an easy fix. It took me probably 30 minutes to fix it. But when you're in another state, you can't, just quickly call someone and expect them to show up at your house. So we didn't get the alert because we didn't have our phones on us. So thank God it just turned it off. Luckily there was no leak, but it also saved me, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 days left of that water just continuously running. So not only is it good for the risk factor, but it also can save you some money when something like that happens.
Well, sure. And, in Arizona, we have such a huge population that are winter visitors. That's what I think. So like to put that on there, I think is amazing. And then, heaven forbid a refrigerator leaks, something like that, where, the whole house floods. And if the water would turn off, I'd love that. So what does that cost? I'm just curious now.
Yeah, there's 2 different ones depending on the size of the pipe. One was around 500 and I think the other one was around 700. So it's not as inexpensive as I would hope it would be, unfortunately. But
is that why you got the wife's permission?
Yeah, pretty much. I said, hey, honey, you want to just double check? We're pretty good about running things by each other when it's, in the hundreds roughly.
Right.
And I didn't want to be in the doghouse for buying another
smart man
thing. I'm a tech guy. I actually don't come from the remodeling business. So in any case, that was why I wanted to run it by her.
That's perfect. Yeah. So, and then here's another thing that I'm noticing, well, at least with myself, but I think you're going to get more calls because people have been stuck at home. Right. And so literally I'm like looking around my house. I'm like, well, I should really change that. Well, that's ugly. That's old. So I'm getting all of these ideas. Mike's like, get out of the house, go back to the office. Because you start to notice things that normally I wouldn't because I'm at the office all day.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was one of the things that, all small businesses, we're a local business. We have 3 owners, one's in Gilbert, 2 are in Ahwatukee. And, we were worried for obvious reasons with COVID. And it's wild how things have gone up faster. We're getting more people contacting us. And so we created a virtual way of setting things up, to help people out and try to service everyone as fast as possible. And I think one of the main reasons, as you said, Ann, is we're stuck in our houses. We're cooking more, we're using our house more than we normally do. And things that have bothered people in the past are kind of getting bubbled up faster. We get a lot of people that are saying right now, hey, I've been wanting to do this for a year or 2, and now I'm ready. What can we do about, the COVID challenges and everything else?
Well, I'm so glad you brought up COVID because that's my next question for you.
Sure.
So what have you had to change in your business in light of the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of our clients have pushed back when they want to get started. Some that were already in progress, we finished a little bit faster, working Saturdays at night, early mornings, whatever will work for them. Now, one thing that's nice about remodeling is that we use these enormous filters. They're the biggest ones. They barely fit through doors. They're the most expensive and nicest ones you can buy for residential. And essentially they clean out. So I'm not a big guy, but I can't even get my hand all the way around the filter. So you know how like a normal filter, if it's a really big one, like I have one in my office, it's about, the filter's this big, which is pretty large. These, it's in a circle that goes all the way around and I can't wrap my arms around it all the way. So your house is actually cleaner air-wise when we're in your house with the remodeling than when it's not.
Nice.
That's just one thing. And then of course there's all the other stuff that we're doing, right? That everyone else is doing, making sure that we're washing our hands all the time. Everyone's temp checked. There's a lot of different stuff that, you know, the CDC has the recommended list. And then for some people, what they do is they end up moving out of the area anyways. So that helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about people being in there and contaminating each other, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're very good about understanding not only that, but kids, pets, stuff like that. Um, might be worth mentioning. I said kids, so it made me think of this. The reason we actually got the company started was because I went through terrible contractor issues to the point where it endangered my kids. And
Oh,
so,
geez.
yeah, I complained to my boss, who's the director at this tech company we worked for, Infusionsoft, and
Oh,
I just kept telling him, like, how are these people? I don't use this word often, but how are these people so stupid?
right.
Everything about it, they wouldn't call me back. And I was polite. It wasn't like I did something that would make them want. They'd come out to the house and then they'd never give me a quote. Or they showed up late. Like every day I'm chasing them. Like there's just so many problems. They kept breaking things, hurting my house. It's like, what's wrong with you guys?
Right.
And that's the
And I
polite way.
hear those stories often, and it happens to me as well.
Yeah. And so that's how we ended up getting started. I complained to Ben. He said, hey, my brother's been a contractor for over 14 years at that time. And I've been trying to get him to come out to Phoenix. Would you be interested? And so my parents own businesses. They own a nonprofit. I own a business besides this one. So I handle all the business stuff. Ben is
Sure.
amazing. I guess an example I give sometimes is, I was willing to partner with my boss. So
Right.
he's got to be a good guy and easy to work with. And he's the one that handles all of the different types of project management. So the communication with clients, and that's his main job. So that way he's not juggling a million different things. And then Mark, the other partner, he does a lot of the work along with our crew. So it's kind of a different scenario than usual. Usually it's one business partner, maybe two. They usually came up from the trades. So sometimes running a business it's difficult in general to run a business.
Right.
But a construction company, I can tell you it's on another level. There is just so much stuff going on at one time. And
Well,
so we
it
use
sounds like,
software to help.
yeah, it sounds like you have a system, and you're right, especially kind of with the contractor who's handling the business side of it, as well as the trades and everything like that. And I think that gets lost because just because you're amazing at a trade doesn't mean you're an amazing business person. Have great customer service. And I think it's wrong. It's a different personality type, and it's wrong to expect someone. So I love how you've really segmented that, and in your business, you're using people who are good at what they do, and then able to leverage that for a better customer experience. And that's always the best goal, right? You got to keep the customers happy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, working with a remodel contractor can be pretty frustrating. They show up late, they don't finish the project on time, they change
your kitchen's like torn apart for months on end.
Yeah, making a mess of your house. There's just so many things. And I think a lot of contractors mean well. So to be
Sure.
clear,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, it's such a tough business. And if you're doing a lot of it yourself and you only have employees and you don't have a couple other people to help out, it's a lot of work. But that's why we care so much. And that's why we have so many reviews. We have an A+ rating with the BBB, dozens of 5-star reviews.
I saw that.
As of right now, we have nothing but 5-star reviews, which of course at some point that would have to change. My thought is a 4-star review in construction's still pretty good.
Yeah, I guess.
So
probably.
5-star, a big part of that is the technology. So I always tell everyone, if you're thinking about remodeling, make sure that you pick a contractor that uses project management software that's specific to remodeling. If they don't, just don't even bother talking to them, because there's plenty of companies that do. And the easiest way I can explain the importance of it is, so like I mentioned, I'm a tech person. I built this amazing setup in Infusionsoft. I got offered quite a bit of money for it. We then looked into Builder Trend, and once we switched, it made what I created look terrible.
Oh, no.
Even though it's amazing for that software, it was nothing compared to Builder Trend. And we've been using it for 2 years now, and it's completely changed everything. Homeowners give us credit for it, and it's not us, it's the software. Imagine having a homeowner portal where you have daily photos, progress logs, anything that's financials in there. If there is a change, let's say you decide, hey, now I do want to tile the wall where I didn't before, the contractor can put everything in there. You see the price, and then you decide if you want to move forward. Because if it's too much, it may not be worth it. Sure. So that way there's no surprise later on. The software doesn't even allow the contractor to charge you until the homeowner's actually signed off on it, like an electronic signature.
I love that. And that's one thing, you know, with technology and doing everything virtually kind of out of this COVID is like, and I know you were doing it even before then. It's really made us step up our game and organizational models. And I love that. And just being on it. Right.
Absolutely.
I love the answer. And it also adds to transparency. So
yeah, it's very transparent with that software, which is fantastic. It makes everything so easy. You know, if you have selections, which are the fun things that you get to choose, you know, in a bathroom, it might be the shower fixtures or the faucets, the lighting fixtures, countertops, stuff like that. You actually see everything that you get to pick. Our designer helps with it at no extra cost. And then essentially, when you have everything picked out, you approve it to say, yes, I give Phoenix Home Remodeling permission to go buy everything. So you don't have to pick anything up. The price includes everything, so there's no surprises. It just makes everything so much smoother of a process.
I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love that. Okay, well, Jeremy, thank you so much again for being here with us. Tons of good information. And if you will keep an eye on this post, because I'm sure questions are going to come up.
Sure.
I'm sure people have lots of questions. So if you wouldn't mind following up with people, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
And speaking of remodeling, I'm not sure if you knew, but I am one of the best realtors on the planet.
Nice.
And
I
actually,
didn't know that. Yes.
I'm sure you've heard it. And I have a team called the Shooty Group at Keller Williams Integrity First. So if you or anyone you know are looking to buy or sell a home, give us a call.
Absolutely.
Give us a text, give us an email.
I'd be happy to do that.
And call you if you're looking to remodel.
Absolutely.
Sell. Yeah. Hey, what's that show? Stay in your house or sell.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah, fix or flip.
Fix or flip. Yeah. Or there's one that's like they come in and so maybe we could team up. I'll go in, convince them. He'll go in, convince them to remodel.
Yeah, list it or keep it or something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know how I
it was one of those two. Awesome. Well, thanks again, you guys. Love everything you're doing. Great business that you're running over there. So Go Gilbert, support local businesses. That's why we're doing this. Give Jeremy a call. And happy Friday. It's the weekend.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. Bye.